A father and his daughter were playing in the park. His young daughter spotted an apple vendor. She asked her father to buy her an apple. Her father didn't bring much money with him, but it was enough to purchase 2 apples. His daughter held 1 apple each in her 2 hands. Then a father asked her if she can share 1 apple with him. Hearing this, his daughter quickly took a bite from both apples. The father was surprised. He wondered what mistake he made raising his daughter that she acted in such a greedy way. His mind was lost in thoughts. Perhaps he is just thinking too much. His daughter is too young to understand about sharing and giving. His smile disappeared. His daughter with an apple then said, "Father, have this one. This one is much sweeter." Her father was speechless. He felt bad about reaching to a judgment so quickly. But his smile came back now, knowing why his daughter quickly took a bite from each apple. Don't judge anything too quickly. Always spare a time to understand things better. A 24-year-old boy seeing out from the airplane's window shouted, "Dad, look, the houses are going behind." Dad smiled, and a young couple sitting nearby looked at the 24-year-old's childish behavior with pity. Then the son shouted again, "Dad, look how small the cars are down there." The father smiled and nodded his head. The couple became more and more annoyed by the childish behavior, and anger began to grow inside them. Suddenly he again exclaimed, "Dad, look, the clouds are running with us." The couple couldn't resist and said to the old man, "Why don't you take your son to a good doctor?" The old man smiled and said, "I did, and we are just coming from the hospital. My son was blind from birth, he just got his eyes today." Things aren't always what they appear to be. Everyone has their own story. Avoid judging others, as the reality of their situation may astonish you. Once a wise king wanted to find a new ruler. He asked all the young people from his kingdom to come to the palace for a special meeting. In a far-off village, there was a young man who didn't have much money. He worked very hard to get ready for his big trip to the palace. He thought he needed nice clothes and some things for his journey. On his way, he met a beggar who was very cold and didn't have nice clothes. The young man felt bad for him and gave him his new clothes and shared his food. The young man was worried that his old clothes might make him look bad at the palace, but he kept going. He tried to make himself look as good as possible. But when the king came in, the young man was shocked. The king looked exactly like the beggar he had helped. The king told him he was the beggar and wanted to see if the young man was kind, even to someone who looked poor. The king said, "Being kind makes you wise. It's more important than just being smart." Once there was a man who lived in a village. He faced many problems, which made him quite sad. One day he asked a wise man what to do. The wise man told him to take care of his 50 camels for a night. When all the camels are sleeping, you could sleep too. The man agreed and started the night trying to get all the camels to sleep. The next morning, the wise man asked if he was able to sleep. The man, quite sad, answered that he couldn't sleep for a moment. Some camels did sleep, others didn't. Some did sit down, others walked around despite his efforts. The wise man smiled and said, "If I am not wrong, then what happened all night was that many camels sat down on their own. Many camels sat because of your effort. Others didn't even sit even after trying to make them sit. And then you found that some of them set themselves with the passage of time." The man replied, "Yes, that's exactly what happened." The wise man then said, "Problems in life are like that. Some of them will solve on their own. Some will be solved with your efforts, and some will not be solved even with efforts. So leave these kinds of problems on time. Solve the problems or leave the problem, but do not live with the problem." Once upon a time, a father took his son to the jungle. After a few hours, he asked his son, "Have you ever wondered how ancient hunters used to outsmart monkeys?" The son answered with a simple no. The father continued, "Instead of chasing monkeys through the jungle, these hunters placed a heavy glass jar on the floor. They would fill the jar with delicious treats for the monkeys. Then the hunters would hide and wait in the shadows for a monkey to approach. Finally, the monkey would reach into the jar, but the jar made it impossible for the monkey to pull its hand out while clutching the food. Not being able to let go, it struggled, pulled and strained, but freedom remained elusive. Yet the monkey refused to release its grip, blinded by its size, and too greedy. In life, son, there will be situations where holding on becomes a trap. Knowing when to quit, when to let go, and when to move on is as essential as breathing. The monkey's downfall was its own stubbornness. That's a lesson we must carry with us. After a stressful day at work, he wanted nothing more than to go home and relax. On his way home, he found a wallet on the ground and picked it up. He looked inside to find the ID and see where the owner lived. A waiter who saw him said, "Hope it was worth picking up. Maybe you'll find some cash. Just throw the wallet in the trash over there. I didn't see anything if we split the money." Shocked by the waiter's boldness, he replied, "No, I will return the wallet as it should be." It's always surprising to see how some people think in our society. The waiter laughed and said, "What an idiot. It's just a wallet." When the man arrived at the address, he rang the bell. An elderly woman opened the door and immediately saw her wallet in his hands. She said, "I can't believe it. You found it." Tears ran down her cheeks. As she took the wallet, she opened it and pulled out a photo. It was clear the photo was taken many years ago. The elderly lady said, "This is the only picture I have left of my parents. I don't have any money in the wallet, but this photo is worth more to me than all the money in the world." At that moment, the honest young man realized that the most valuable things in our lives cannot be bought with money.